Good morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to our Coffee Talk series. I am your host, Katina Cuba, founder of Authentic Entrepreneurs. I assist people, business owners, and entrepreneurs to unlock their potential. And what does it mean? It means that I help them to create a business with influence and impact, and also how to profit and grow their business out of their passion. Every month, I bring a guest into this virtual coffee with around different topics around life or business, and so you can hear the real experiences and lesson learned from them, something that worked, something that didn't work so well for them. But the aim of that is that you can hear real experiences, that you can, like something that in this conversation and very informal chat, something can resonate with you, something can inspire you to take some action, or simply something can validate whatever the state you are living at the moment in your life. So this informal chat really is for you. Hopefully you can get some value out of these conversations. Today's episode, I will talk with my friend and one of my mentors, Dr. Marcia Becherel. She's an integrative health and well-being consultant. She's the co-founder and CEO of Mastery to Success. Her credentials, well, amazing, are off the chart. Marcia graduated from medical school in Brazil. She holds a PhD in macrobiology and public health, and her credentials about human potential and human behavior are amazing. But most of all, I love Marcia around her ability to think out of the box, and she is a game changer. She has lived in 5 different countries. She speaks 5 different languages, but most importantly, she has transformed the life of thousands of people around the world, including me. So today I'll have an informal chat with her around her experience in her life. I'd like to know a little bit more about her life, and especially how people, how important it is to be true to yourself, how we can tear down those shadows and start shining from within. Because you will agree with me that sometimes we navigate through life just trying to pleasing others people's expectation, and sooner or later we have this call that we would like to shine for ourselves. So without much introduction, I'd like to welcome Dr. Marcia Becherel. Marcia, welcome to this informal chat today.
Thank you, Katina. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. I know your agenda, and so I really appreciate the time you're putting to share with us your insights. So, Dr. Marcia, tell us what it's like to be a game changer as you are. You've lived in many countries, and you have a quite vast of knowledge and credentials. So we would like to hear a little bit more about your life experience.
So one thing that I have learned throughout the years is that every moment in our life is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So our life is composed of many, many, many present moments. And I believe that every single one of those moments has a gift for us. So hence our entire life, it's helping us to be who we are. Because we are all unique. We are about 7 billion people on the planet, and each one of us is unique. No two people are the same, even identical twins. They have the same DNA makeup, but they're still different in some form or shape. So we are all different. So I feel blessed to have this belief that our life is always guiding us to be our uniqueness. And in my journey, one of the biggest gifts in my journey, in my life journey, has guided me towards diversity. And so that started when I was 10 years old. I was born in Taiwan. When I was 10 years old, my family moved to Brazil. So I moved with my family from Taiwan to Brazil. Two very different cultures, an Eastern and a Western culture. One is very um, has very long cultural background, deep roots, and in a way very rigid in its structure. And
Mm.
Brazil, it is very flexible, very much into the feeling, into the human relations, and the China is more in the reasoning, a bit more one in the mind, other one more in the heart. And so that it was a radical change for me, and so which means that uh, it requires, well, push me to learn very quick, learn new things like new culture, new place, new language, and also how to relate to people. And so, and since then, my life has been composed of many different diversities. As later on, I moved to US and then France, and now I'm living in Australia since 2002. So this is one of the big um, gift for my life is teaching me the diversity, yet at the same time to stay true to my own uniqueness of my authentic self. Um, and the second big lesson that my life has given me is also regarding being authentic. It's actually standing up for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was 23 years old, I had to make a choice between standing up for myself and live the life that I want to live, or stay in a way subordinate to my father and living the life that he wanted for me. And and it was very hard because I love my father. I didn't want to disappoint him. But at the same time, I knew that I am the one that have to walk in my shoes. You know, nobody walks in our shoes. We are the one, no
Yeah.
matter what choices we make in life, we are the ones that have to go through our everyday experience. Nobody can do that. And that's why it's so essential that we choose the life that is authentic to us and not um, living the life that others expect of us because we love them and sometimes we want to please them, but when we please other people, we end up subordinating, we end up sacrificing ourselves. And one of the regrets um, of there was a research done by a palliative nurse, and
Mm-hmm.
she was working with people that were um, terminally ill, and the biggest regret that they had is that they didn't live a life true to themselves.
Yeah, but being true to yourself, Dr. Marsha, sounds quite inspiring and powerful, indeed. But what exactly does it mean? So why being to yourself is so important for our health and our well-being in general? Because nowadays we hear that, and we do everything we possible to be ourselves, but we are so overwhelmed for the society, culture, family. So what being to yourself, in essence, is um, for you, of what is for any human being um, achieving to live a life authentically and according with who you are is important.
Yes. So basically, so being ourselves, it's about honoring that uniqueness. So deep inside every single human being, deep inside we already know who we are, the truth of who we are. And that is, and we all have, no matter who you are, you know, you all have a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and the truth of who you are. It's magnificent, great, and powerful. And I like to just recite a little piece of Marianne Williamson's when she talks about our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So, so deep within each one of us, we are light, and we have greatness and power. And so anytime that we are not owning that, we are not embracing, embodying, and owning our greatness and our power, we are not being true to ourselves. And in a way, we are killing slowly ourselves, because when we are not ourselves, we are actually slowly suiciding and living a life of just surviving.
Yes, it is very true, and I loved your quote. But yes, but people in general, yes, we've been living this or navigating lives, subordinating, hearing, listening to people who says you should do this, you should do that. In order to be successful, we're in this world of social media. The 10 tips how to be successful, or the 10 tips how to be a better mom, the 10 tips of how to be a better looking or more healthy. So we are living into this area of constantly bombarding information that how to be this kind of profile, this kind of people. And then inside of us, yes, we are nurturing. We know that we have an own greatness. So sometimes we tend to feel that we are encapsulated in kind of a walls that we're trying to fit and be and create that kind of person, and we are not. So how can we tear down all these invisible walls to be able to give ourselves permission to be or to shine, to start being more congruent with who we are? So what can you tell us in terms of how can we embrace that? Yes, we know that we would like to be more authentic, we like to be more stay true to ourselves. How can we start doing this? How can we start in this journey into self-discovering and breaking those, peeling those walls, or those yeah, those walls, yes.
Yeah. So the first thing is to be authentic to ourselves and to live up to the magnificence of the truth of who we are. The first thing is we need to know who are we, and who are we. Deep down, that's what I call our core identity. So deep down, human being, we have what we call a set of values or life priorities. So basically, it's what is really important to you in life. And in a way, your highest values or your highest priorities is your identity. So having to knowing that, because when you, that means that you really know who you are, and then you are operating from that space, which means that you're operating from your highest values, which is also your mission and purpose. In other ways, when you do that, you are activating an area in our brain called the executive center, which is the human brain, the prefrontal neocortex. And when we do that, we activate this executive center, which means that we then have confidence, we have clarity, we have certainty, and we say, I do, I will, I can. And then we tend to, so what happened is when you do that, you also become more resilient, which
Mm.
means that because when we are living on purpose, it doesn't mean that everything is now easy. It's far away from that. Because in life, no matter where we are in life, we are always going to have support and challenge, because those challenges is what make us grow. Because otherwise, if there are no challenge in life, no often we say, "Oh, I just want to be comfortable. Life is so comfortable right now. Why cannot it be just like that?" Well, that would be like, an example is when we go to school and then when we first start year one, and we go, oh, we got to school anxious and stressed. Oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. By the end of
Mm.
the year, we know, and then we promote to year two. But if we are always seeking, for ease and comfort, that means that we want to stay in year one for the rest of our life. It's very comfortable. It's very easy. But how boring
Mm.
it is. So challenge is what makes us grow. So the other thing that I'm saying that I like a lot is like, while we are growing, but when we ripe, we rot.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So what I would suggest is that my suggestion is find, because we know that they're always going to be challenges in our life, because that is an essential to continue learning and growing and expanding, because otherwise we start shrinking, rotting, and dying. So we know the
Yes,
challenges are there. So what I would suggest is find out a challenge that inspires you. Your why are you here? Why would you love to accomplish? Why would you love to contribute to the world? Find a challenge that inspires you, that you get you up in the morning with energy, and you just want to go and work on that, rather than, because when we seek the ease and the comfort, what happens is we'll end up attracting challenges that will just spare us. So rather than, if we have the choice, is that we will choose the challenge that we want, that will help us to grow, and will also help others to grow and make a difference in their life. Another metaphor that I love using
hmm,
is like life is like a martial arts arena, and we are all in it. We all are aspiring towards our black belt. But our black belt is in the speciality that is unique to us. So what is the black belt? I love, my mission is to inspire and to empower people so that they can live to the authentic life. They can live to the truth of to the magnificence of who they are. And I know you, Katina, that your mission is um, to inspire and to grow purposeful, driven people, leaders, and entrepreneurs, so that they can transform through your teachings, right? So
hmm.
we all have the black belt we all aspire to. However, in order to achieve a black belt, would you agree that we actually, well, first of all, we need years of practice. We need a lot of
Absolutely.
time practicing, but we also need worthy opponents, and that's why I call it challenges. Because in order to really become black belt, you start from the white, and then you have the different colors until you reach the black one. But in order for that, your opponent in each different belt is different. So you need an opponent to the same standard, a worthy opponent to hold you accountable and to help you learn and grow and towards your black belt. So
Absolutely.
that's the way I like to see the challenge. So if we look at the challenges in our life as someone that is helping us to move towards our black belt, to achieve our black belt. So then,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That
yeah,
is so beautiful. I never thought that as you just described as a martial art. Um, arena. It is very, very inspiring that, but it's certainly as we master our life and we start living our purpose and our, from within, Marcia, I agree with you that then you can start seeing things, the event coming into your life as an opportunity to growth, and you enjoy that. So it is normal to find a little bit challenge, like now, for example. I can say I felt very vulnerable when the technical part didn't work the way that I thought and that I wanted to work, because my own perception or standard is that everything have to work perfectly and the way that I plan it to work. And I experienced 20 minutes of frustration and a little bit disappointed that didn't work the way that I wanted. So listening to you, I'm kind of a feeling that yes, something that I need to improve um, around my business, but I could see also the benefit that yes, that is happening because I need to improve that. I need to put a little bit more time in growing, and I'm certainly growing because I know that I will get very good at managing webinars.
Yeah, and may I also let you know and make it easy is that life is always also giving us feedbacks.
Yes.
So life, it's because life wants us to strive, want us to, to succeed, to be the best version of who we are, to live to our full potential. That's why each one of us is unique. No two people are the same. And so life is constantly giving us feedbacks in terms of our physical signs and symptoms. And so I know it's, even though my background, I'm a medical doctor, so I should say, oh, you are sick because, there's this bug, this virus, or because of such and such. And yes, that is true. However, I also from my experience, I can also see that there are also other components to it. Like they are in a way, a underlying emotional root component. It doesn't mean that the person consciously created that, but I see that as more like a feedback from life to empower us. It's only to step away from our greatness and our power. Life is giving us feedback to kind of push us to empower ourselves. And it's amazing the examples. My own example is my thyroid. How long ago was 20, almost 30 years ago, or 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto, which is thyroid issue. And then since then it has been up and down, and sometimes my thyroid is actually overactive, sometimes underactive. And so when I have a look, when that happens, because thyroid has to do with self-expression, it's being able to say your truth. And so sometimes when we hold, and we are afraid and we hold from speaking our truth, that can result in the thyroid being underactive. And then sometimes we just say too much, like we don't even say, just come out of our mouth. So we say, I shouldn't have said that. So, and that can be the thyroid would go overactive. So observing through my years, I can see how my body has actually given me the feedbacks of how I was functioning emotionally, where I was, and then every time that I was, so basically when my thyroid was giving me symptoms was because I wasn't being true to myself. I was either sacrificing myself or I was projecting, onto other people. And so my Thyroid Has Beauty give me this feedback. I have a and I have a beautiful example as well from this lady that came work. That was one of the most beautiful example I had. Is this lady came to see me about 4 or 5 years ago, and she came from Tasmania, which is very cold. And her problem was that she could not stand the breeze or any kind of little bit of wind or breeze on her skin. It caused her like deep pain. So when I talked with her, yeah, so she has to be all wrapped up, and even summer she had to wear long sleeves and be all wrapped up because the wind on her skin just caused a terrible pain. So I had to chat with her and uncover, what was happening, and then so what we uncovered is that the reason she moved to Australia, Tasmania, she used to live in Queensland. A very warm climate, and then the reason she moved off to Tasmania because to be with her partner, and she was resenting that because she didn't see why it wasn't like true to herself. It doesn't mean that when you of course you have a relationship, you sometimes you travel, but what happened is she didn't see how could that be serving her? So she was just resenting that she sacrificed herself and have to move there because of him. And so we did some work around that and shift her perception, and she could see that how actually moving to Tasmania was also serving her and was also linked to her highest values, her purpose. So when we dissolved that and she was grateful and basically she re-owned herself, like she now can see she took ownership of herself and stepped back into her own power and greatness. The next day, that's actually took us a session. So next day, when she came back, she told me that for the first time in her life, she was actually walking from my office to the bus station, and for the first time, she was enjoying the breeze on her skin. She could actually enjoy.
So, Marcia. So, Marcia, what I understanding now is that when we are with ourselves, when we live out through ourselves, the life is always assisting us to get back to our essence, to live authentically and to live purposely. So if we don't do that, we create a life that are not congruent with our values, priorities, and with is true to ourselves. Life will give us the feedback, and this feedback, one way of this feedback could be our health in itself.
Yes. So one way is our health. Yeah. There are other ways. So the other one is our psychology. So actually all the limiting beliefs and negative emotions, they are actually just a feedback to you. So that very often we just want to get rid of them, get rid of negative emotion. I just want to feel good. However, your negative emotions are just feedback to you as well, to guide to us, to make you reflect, stop, slow down, stop, think and reflect. Okay, what is happening? Why, where am I not really be myself, or where am I disempowered? Where am I not really being true to myself? And then when we can see that, and we either change our perception or change our action, because there's ever just two things to change: our perception and or our action, and then everything else changes. So that's our psychology. The third one is our sociology. So our families and friends, sometimes they confront us, there are conflicts, but very often if we look, they are also reflecting back something to us, and they're also sending us a message. And the message is all about getting back to us, getting back to our true self. And if we don't listen to these messages, the last one is when something tragic or catastrophic happens. So I like to like a beautiful metaphor is like the life is always giving us messages, and these messages start as a little feather, and it hurt a little bit, like a little headache, and we just scrape it off and then just move on. And then it can come as a little pebble. It hurts a little bit more. That headache stays for like a week maybe, or no, 2-3 days. And we still, because we taught to just be strong and just keep soldiering on, right? And then the pebble may become a little bit bigger stone, but then we keep going, and then it can be a brick, and then if we keep not listening, so we have our physiology, our psychology, our sociology, but we just keep not listening, we could just hit like a wall or have this massive rock.
Yeah.
And we just have to stop. That is the catastrophic or the tragedy. And I have actually a very dear friend of mine, and he actually had a head-on collision with another car in Brazil, and it means he had to be in bed for 6 months. So it's life just, okay, you don't want to listen here. Now you cannot go anywhere. Now you can have a look in your life.
Yeah, that's a very interesting, very very powerful way to see in a bigger picture how we can understand that everything that is being very powerful. What you're saying, that everything is assisting us. All the people that come and we love, but also the people that come, events that come and challenge us, that we perceive as a problem, crisis, turning points, issues, and depression, stress. Everything is giving us feedback that we are not living our true self, and that is very very different inside. And I love when I was introduced to this new mind shift that really shifted my mind, is that because when we hear being authentic out there, we normally feel that being authentic is to be outspoken, have to be creative, you have to stand out. So people sometimes just label being authentic just with someone who does something different. But what you're telling us is quite a little bit more different. It's a little bit different, a little bit more powerful. That being authentic is be congruent with who you are, and that requires, I think, a lot of work, and requires a lot of courage, and requires kind of like I would say discipline to understand that concept. Because what you're telling us is that if we don't live authentically, then we will continuously be challenged to do so.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just living a life of desperation, a life we're just merely surviving and not living and striving. And life loves us so much. I like to say that life is always supporting us to be the best, live to our full life, and to live a meaningful and full life. And and so something else also, it's being authentic. A very important part of being authentic is actually having the courage to be vulnerable, and to be seen of who you truly are. Because we, every human, you and me, we all have two sides, and we don't have the golden side of ourselves that we like to show off in public and like to people to see, but we also have our shadow side, which we try to hide, and like our golden and shadow self, or our hero and our villain inside. Every human being, we have our hero and the villain inside, and both are necessary. So it's about being vulnerable to let people see that, and the best way to be able to do that, it's actually get into our heart, and that when we are relating to people, be it heart to heart. Because what happened is, and I am in a way guilty of this, is that very competitive, and which means that, so very often, So when we are competitive and we compare to other people, we either put ourselves on the pedestal and then on the pit, or vice versa. And that is just like, again, up and down, up and down. Okay? So, and it's very interesting because we don't mind when we're on a pedestal, right? It feels good. But however, what happens is it won't last, because that's not the true you. So life will throw you some curveballs to put you in the pit, but then you go on this jigsaw, up and down, up and down. And when we are up, we don't care, but when we are down, that's really, oh, why I'm here. So we feel like low self-esteem, we feel beaten up. However, and that's my case, because I do put myself up very often, and then of course life throw me a curveball and I'm go down, and then I'm frustrated. But then I realized that, well, so in order to have been authentic, it's when I'm actually more centered, balanced. I'm meditating and relating to people in a heart-to-heart, like having an open heart, being vulnerable, being authentic. And I find that, that communication, so we are more like an equal, because I know that I have both sides. I have my heroes and villains. The next person also has the heroes and villains. They also know they have upside and downside. So it's about connecting with people at the high level, and that's is the place that would be the most authentic.
Yep. Queen, my arena is more like entrepreneurship and business. So I know that I work with a lot of people facing changes, perhaps moving from now the corporation job into embracing or embarking into business, or there are people that are already in business that are reaching plateau, or there are people that want to increase their business, grow the business, but they are playing there so hard, working so hard, and they can't move ahead. So what would be for you, Dr. Marcia, just how can we incorporate, or how important is to be ourselves into managing those stages through business, through entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So in a way, well, your business is a reflection of you, of who you are. And so your business is also another feedback system back to you to see if you are being authentic, you are being aligned. So when some business strive and there's flow, is because there's is alignment and integration. And when there seems to be struggles, is because there are misalignments. Now, what is this misalignment? Is the misalignment between the business and yourself, who you are, your highest values, and also your vision, mission, and purpose. Basically, is your why. Why are you in business? And earlier on, I mentioned that your why is that you grow purposeful, driven people, leaders, and entrepreneurs by being an authentic expression of yourself.
Absolutely.
And flowing and transforming life through your teaching. My why is my mission is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to connect with their authentic self, their wisdom and greatness within, by assisting to decode and see the truth and gift in their life events and the message from their body, so they can embrace the magnificence of truly who they are, and so they can live the most authentic, inspiring, and meaningful life. So that's my why, and this is your why. So the first thing for anyone, either they are unsatisfied with what they're doing at the moment, so they want to leave the corporation, the executive, and want to either start their own business, or people they already have the business or struggling, is first of all to find their why. So first of all, to know themselves, who they are, what is their core identity, knowing their why. And the next, so once they have their why, their highest values and their purpose, Then the next one is to know what is their natural gift and abilities, because every human being is different. I'll give you an example. My husband Olivier, he loves, we have the business. We are co-founder of Massive to Success, so we work together in the business, but we are very different. So he is in flow when he's in front of the computer writing, or when he was reading, studying, and writing. He's in flow. He can be days without seeing other people. I, the contrary, the opposite. I can sit in a computer for maybe 1-2 hours, then I need to get up, I need to move, I need to move. I need to, be out connecting with people. So that's my natural ability is talking with people, talking with strangers. It's easy for me. I meet a stranger in shopping center, I'm talking to them. See, and that's not his natural flow. So it's about knowing what is your natural flow, and then knowing your natural flow, you also learn, okay, what you love to do. So because no matter if you are in a job or in your business, there are things you need to do, and that's things you need to do day in and day out. So it's a process, and you need to love the process, because if you don't, you're going to burn out. And so the first thing is to know who you are, what's your why, what's your purpose, your vision, your mission, and then know what is your flow, which means your flow is your most efficient, effective way to fulfill your purpose. Okay. Now I also like to touch, because when you know your why and your how, then things start to come together. Now, something that I would like to mention as well is that very often we understand entrepreneurship equals business or business owner, and that's not necessarily the case. So for me, entrepreneur is equals to ownership, is to take ownership, is take the responsibility and ownership, because we cannot all be business owners. So who is going to do all the other work? So it's about knowing what is your why and what is the natural flow, and then what is the most effective way to fulfill that. I have a couple stories that I love. One was I read in an article, so it was in New York City, and this gentleman, his entire life, 50 years in his life, he works for the city of New York, cleaning underground sewage and underground spaces, and he was a happy man. So once he was interviewed and asked, how can you be happy if every day you're cleaning dirt and all this garbage? And he says, well, because I know that there are actually homeless people that live in these places. So when I clean, I'm offering them a space. I'm making their life a little bit more comfortable. So I'm contributing to their life. That's number one. The number two is that because of his work and the income, he was able to send his two daughters to university. One is a doctor and one is a lawyer. So he was an entrepreneur. He had ownership, and he loved what he does. The same goes for another story. Was a coffee stand on Wall Street, and it was the most successful. Very busy. Everyone, in the morning, everyone is there getting their coffee, and the person was very inspired. So again, the journalist interviewed them, and they say, "How did you do this? Because looking this all the other coffee stands, there's empty, but why you are so full?" And he said, "Because my job is the most important job in the whole world. Because I know that in those buildings, there are people making important decisions that influence and affect a lot of people, the whole world. And I know that if they have a good cup of coffee in the morning, they're going to have a good day, and they're
So
going to make
beautiful.
good decisions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's all about honoring yourself, your uniqueness, and
Yes.
not comparing
Yes.
others. That's why the title of this talk is Nothing to Prove, Just Be You. Just be the most magnificent.
That's exactly. Yeah, and I want to wrap up just with that. When you say nothing to prove, just be you, is that there's nothing really that we can compare with, because we are unique and we are great in our own self. So it is a long journey. I wouldn't say long, and I won't say hard, but it's something that everyone have to give themselves permission to do so. We have an option, certainly, to continue living the life we are, hitting ourselves with the same wall, with the same door, or we can just change the strategy and think about how can we do things different. We keep hitting ourselves with the same thing, waiting and hoping that something will change. But what we don't, what I is my lesson learned is that only when I decided and I gave permission to myself to do something different and work on myself instead of trying to change my environment, that's when magic happened. So I could understand now, and I will be forever thankful and grateful to you and my other mentors. But this is a powerful, good step to really put yourself into a road of success and fulfillment. And I don't know, Dr. Masha, your final words. I just enjoyed your this informal chat.
Okay. It would be. It's interesting because, as you said, because life is a journey. So even this journey into our, it's a journey. It's a journey in progress. So my suggestion is take the time to stop, smell the flowers, smell the rose, enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey. There's no rush to get anywhere. Just because,
Yes.
just enjoying the journey and being you, enjoy your life, and be you.
Yes. Again, I'm really, really grateful, Dr. Masha or Masha, that you spent some time with us this morning. I know for all my the attendees that thank you because you managed to get in. We had this technical problem at the beginning. I'm still learning, so I feel very vulnerable with that, but very honest with you that I'm in this journey, but I will do all my best to keep improving that and just finding different ways to avoid that happen again. But if so, I will send this video and a link so you can watch this video in your own time, in your own space. So with that, I just want to say goodbye to Marcia. Thank you, Marcia.
Can I just say one last thing? I know you're wrapping up.
No.
So enjoy the journey, and the most important is it's okay to be you. However, to be you means good hair days and bad hair days. Being you doesn't mean good hair days. So, and it's be okay with that. I think that is the most important. When I say we are all work in progress, we are all on a journey. And they will be bad hair days. And it's about to learn from that. To say, okay, but what is the silver lining in this? You know, what is the silver lining? What is the blessing in this? You know, how is that serving me? What is the blessing in this? And
thank you.
And most important is just be okay, and be okay to.
I know it is that is very important. it took me a while until, and it is a work in progress, you know, because sometimes we have events that we perceive we didn't do it correctly, or we didn't do it in the standard that people were expecting from us. And it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, but immediately work on ourselves just to see that that was part of the game. So if that was part of the game, you just need to embrace that and not let these events in our life to stop us to do something good out of our life in our best ability, because it's the only thing I can do that I've learned is that I have all my resources and I need to get the best of my resources at this moment. So I cannot wait until something happened in my life, or I cannot keep complaining what I did or I didn't know in my past. So that's an enormous learning that I got in the last probably 3 years. So, and I love when you say there's nothing to prove, because there is nothing. So I really enjoy the chat today, Marcia. As always, it's always inspiring. It's always powerful. It's always something that, you know, to give you goosebumps. And
I had quite a few goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah, because as you said, only through the power of connection and sharing, we can make other people's life different. Because we're not here to say what is good or what is wrong. It's just to share what worked for us and what didn't work for us. And for me, 2 years, 3 years ago, I was probably hitting my bottom in my life, the bottom part of my life, and now I move ahead and I'm feeling so empowered. So if I can do, I think everyone can do that. So I just want to share what I did in order to leave that stage. And now I can see that stage as the best blessing in my life, because that allowed me to progress, to move forward. So that's what that is my mission at the moment, is just to share my own experience and connect with other people, that eventually we can share more and create that ripple effect throughout our people. Anyway, we can't keep talking, so and thank you very much, Marcia. Thank you for your patience. Thank you all for your participation, and I will send the link later on. And if you have any comments or you want to send us a link where you like or you didn't like, please do so, because I'm here to keep improving. Okay? All right. Big kiss, Marcia. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.